This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, y'all. We made it to the end of the week, September 17th, the first week of our 5th year on the air. I'm Tori here with Erica, Al, and Dr. Coley is joining us. We're grateful you are also joining us at home or wherever you are. Let's get started because we need help. We need help understanding this whole thing. What's going on? An FDA committee is meeting today and plans to vote on the booster shots, if they're safe, if they're effective, but there also seems to be disagreement about if they're necessary and who should get them. So we want to know what you think will be the likely outcome and what will that mean for us all. So do you think you have money on the roulette table? Are you putting it on the FDA saying
I thought you were just saying she had money. I was like, don't put business out there like that.
That was really presumptuous.
You have money, you tell us. No, but if you had to bet, where would you put your money on?
Well, just to start, the last time I played roulette, I put like $400 on my birthday, lost it in a second. So that's not my game, that's for sure. But there's a lot of controversy on this. Today's a big day, and honestly, it's one of those decisions that I am awaiting with bated breath because I don't know which way it could go either way. What I think, based on the science, is going to happen is that the FDA is going to say yes to the boosters, but not for everybody. They're going to say only for those that are older, those that are immunocompromised. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixed result today.
Mixed salad.
Well, Dr. Coley, let's be honest, because a lot of people are just doing their own thing. So what do you think about that?
I am so nervous about that, Erica, and I think this is a problem. We've really put the cart ahead of the horse. By making this announcement that they're going to be boosters by September 20th, which is Monday, a lot of places have already rolled them out. People are going and getting them. People are having adverse reactions. People are getting them sometimes as soon as 3 months after their full vaccination. So I think that hopefully today's decision will help shed some light. Now, keep in mind, it's only going to be about for Pfizer people. So those of us that got Moderna, Al, me, I think you got Moderna as well. Yep. So for us, it's going to be still a little bit of a waiting game.
Interesting. And the J&J again.
J&J, yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, Dr. Coley, let's get to another big COVID headline from this week. I can't believe we're about to bring it up, but it's Nicki Minaj. And I think we need to all talk about it because it's really going everywhere. She took to Twitter talking about her own hesitancy to get the vaccine. She even tweeted an anecdote about her cousin's friend who got the COVID vaccine and apparently became impotent when his testicles became swollen. Okay. What's going on, Dr. Coley? Is this a real side effect? Is there any link? You all have written me so many times asking, is there a link between the COVID vaccine on impotence, but I don't want to forget those women out there, or infertility? It's a big question that is up in the air. Doc,
and also, let's not forget about the fake cousin's friend. How many times have you heard that?
Let's just stick to
my cousin's friend said you don't have to pay your taxes.
My roommate's brother, but I do want to know from you, this is a big question. Infertility, impotence, COVID vaccine, talk to us.
Let us be clear about this. There are hundreds and millions of people who have gotten the COVID vaccine, and infertility, impotence, and swollen testicles have not been reported as an adverse reaction of the COVID vaccine. Now, where this comes from, and I think this is a great example of misinformation, is that there are certain vaccines, like the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, that can cause swelling of the testicles. That's called orchitis. And if the testicles get inflamed enough, that can sometimes lead down. Very rarely does it cause swelling. Very rarely does it cause impotence, but it can happen. So I think they took something that happens with a different vaccine that's been around for decades and said the COVID vaccine causes it, and that is a complete example of misinformation.
All right.
Well, let's be honest, though. Aren't there other ways that your testicles can become swollen than vaccines?
There are many different ways that the testicles can become swollen. So
I hope not many. Give me a solid number so I can sleep tonight.
Are you getting a little nervous over here?
Yeah, there's hundreds.
I'm backing out.
Just from sitting in a black chair.
So testicular swelling basically means inflammation of the testicles. It can occur from infections. It can occur from blockages in any of the ducts or anything else down there. And it can occur non-specifically as well. But if it occurs, obviously seek medical attention. But the other thing to keep in mind is that other things can cause it. So, you know, two things can be correlated, but not causative. So if somebody, this cousin's friend or whoever, happened to get testicular inflammation and got a vaccine, it doesn't mean that the vaccine caused.
Cause and correlation, important to know the difference.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a weird question because celebrities and everybody's earned their platform, right? No matter how big it is. and that you're allowed to give your opinion on your platform. But should celebrities that have a huge platform and huge influence be able to, in your opinion, should they be able to give their opinion on vaccines? Because that does move the needle.
You know, Al, this is a tough one, but you know how Uncle Ben says to Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's what it is for celebrities. Because you have that platform, it is your responsibility to put out only the accurate, correct, and scientifically approved information out there. So I think it's important because we look up to our celebrities. We think of them as heroes. We want to do what they do so they can use their platform to emulate good behavior and put out good information. But what Nicki Minaj did was a prime example of misinformation. And using your platform to do that, I am really, really against that.
That's fair. Wow. Dr. Coley, it seems also there's a growing trend here. Everywhere you look, doctors are now joining social media, specifically the TikTok. I sound 800 years old. They are posting videos on all sorts of things, giving out medical advice. And I wanted to know, in your mind, does this decrease or increase a doctor's credibility? If you're like, hey, I'm on TikTok with a huge amount of followers, am I more impressed or less impressed?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, we call it the TikTok doc.
No
Or
way.
sometimes TikTok doc in a box. Because it's really all these people who are emerging on social media and TikTok to put themselves out there. So I'm really torn about this. I want to hear what you guys think. But on one hand, you're trying to meet the person where they are. You're giving them information through a platform that they use, especially our younger people. But I have real reservations about doctors doing this for a few reasons. Number one, because you're validating the platform of TikTok for dissemination of information. So any person can put on a pair of scrubs, get on TikTok, pretend to be a doctor and put information out there. There's no vetting, there's no accuracy, and some of the doctors, no offense, that have put information out there, it's not entirely accurate. And part of it could be their opinion and not necessarily the science. So I think overall, if I had to vote, I'm going to say I'm against the TikTok doc. It lowers your credibility, and you really want to use vetted and scientifically appropriate platforms. But what do you guys think? If you saw your doctor on TikTok, what would you do?
You know, this is interesting because I didn't even think about the people who could just put on a coat and pretend to be a doctor.
I didn't either. I was like, oh.
It never even dawned on me. But some of my favorite people that I follow are doctors. It's very specific, like the period doctor, because she gives very digestible advice for things that we're asking questions about our menstrual cycles. And so I love that type of information, but I never thought about someone who's, you know, perpetrating a doctor.
Right, yeah, and unfortunately, because we do live in a country where access to health care is not, you know, almost not the norm, this may be people's only access to certain information, and sometimes it will be good, but you're exactly right. You open my eyes, sometimes it'll be bad. I never thought about that.
There's no regulations on that,
so maybe we vet the information.
Right, maybe we add more regulations.
Review it before it gets out there.
I agree. Doc, I want to show you this and all of you out there before we go to break. This is in my hometown. It's an artist in D.C. It's memorializing all of the people who have died from COVID-19 in America. More than 660,000 flags are going up on the National Mall, one for every single American who has passed away. That is 1 in 500 Americans who have now lost their life because of the pandemic. Now, as a DC person, I know that mall has been used for the AIDS quilt
layout. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw that.
It changes your mind when you see the rows and the rows and the rows and the rows. And that's not a small mall, just so you know. So to see this all white, flipping in the breeze, seeing that movement that have lives lost will impact people visually, I think. What do you think about it, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, those are lives, those are dreams, those are hopes, those are memories that are just gone forever. And I think it really helps drive home the point that this is not a nebulous thing, this is not a made-up virus. We have lost so many Americans, more than we have in many wars to this virus, and we're still fighting this war.
I know. Wow, thank you for being here. We appreciate the information. No fear.
Should have done a silver lining today.
Facts, yeah, for real. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Donny Osmond, changing gears.
Yes.
He's telling us all about his new music and Vegas show without Marie. Plus, timing out a pregnancy to get a kid with a good zodiac sign. Yep, people are doing this, and we're talking about it. Coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know, come on over with the dog. We're probably the worst lighting ever. Look at us. Look who looks smarter and hotter. Anywho, I did want to tell you something. The Trinidadian and Tobago government, I don't know if you know this, had to spend resources and time finding out if Nicki Minaj's cousin actually had swollen testicles.
Wasn't it the cousin's friend?
Cousin's friend, and they found that there wasn't a case. This poor head of state there had to actually speak out about it and he said, I had to use my time and money to find this cousin's friend, and it's not true. So I just wanted to let you know that the Trinidadian and Tobago president has spoken out about the Nicki Minaj issue and what's going on over there. Also,
we should put her down and ask her why she put that tweet on there.
A lot of people, by the way, Nicki Minaj, so you know, gained 100,000 followers overnight.
That's why.
100,000 followers. Now, I don't think she was expecting that, but that's to say that's how many people are on the other side. And when I say other side, I mean the wrong side, because one's science, and 2 + 2 is 4 in this case. So when you see Nicki Minaj do that, as a doctor and as a woman, and like, what does it make you feel?
It makes me feel angry, and it honestly makes me never want to listen to another Nicki Minaj song ever again.
Yeah.
Because it's these types of individuals that are using their power, abusing their power to their own personal
and costing lives.
And it's you pay the price with a human life.
I know, and we find people in the studio with that issue that people have in the hospital. I'm like, it's not a joke, y'all. It's not a joke. All right, write us in if you have questions. Thank the doc as always. We'll see you soon. Thank you, doctor. Welcome back to DBL. So get this, some women are timing their pregnancy, and we should say partners, because we don't know if it's just the women, to ensure their kid has a good zodiac sign. According to an article in Vice, some women are trying to get pregnant at a certain time so they can control their child's astrology. Some are even delaying their pregnancy to avoid certain signs. But the big win, apparently, is when their baby is born on the cusp, in between 2 different signs.
Y'all better stop playing. If you want a baby, you better make a baby. You just better try, because that's a whole lot of privilege there to decide when your baby's born. I mean, if that's something that is really important to you for whatever reason. But the truth is, if the things that you don't like about certain zodiac signs are something that's a hindrance, that's going to come back on you one way or the other. So be careful.
Yeah, it's obviously, Erica, you know much more about this world than I do. Have you ever heard anything like this? And have you ever heard of somebody saying, hey, I went on a date, it went great, but I found out he's a Gemini and that doesn't work? And they like kind of rule their life by their signs, not kind of just using it as something that's kind of like fun to follow.
Yeah, I don't say, I'm not trying to disparage people who really believe in this. I'm just simply saying when it comes to fertility and creating life, you might want to just do that and not worry about when the child is born, just that the child is born. But I understand that people make decisions based on that. You know, like I don't necessarily vibe with this characteristic. But I also think that people are individuals, and it's about how you gel as a partnership.
I want to ask this to you, because I know it's not zodiac signs, but there are studies that like older children in schools do better than like the younger of the class, right? And so in that case, you're kind of trying to get to like more of a September, October, as opposed to like an August for that. Does that make sense in terms of, because there's scientific backup for that rather than just, I'm not Pisces, you know?
I don't know that that's so much scientific. That's more like man-made, humankind made.
Yeah.
Because of the way we cut off dates. You could have, take it away from school, put it in sports, you could have like, you know, the 9 and 10-year-olds, but the older 9 and 10-year-olds, you might have you might have a really young 9-year-old who's small.
Right, that's
and a
what I mean.
10-year-old that's almost 11.
Exactly.
So there's almost like a 2 or 3 year age gap, even though it only looks like 1 on paper.
Right.
So that's more of like something maybe we need to fix as people, but I do get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables in that equation too. I mean, you're not considering resources or access or any of those things as to why a child might be a higher achiever than another child.
Very, very true. Good discussion, huh? Yes, Tori. Coming up on DBL, Donny Osmond's back with brand new music and a Vegas show. His awesome interview with us is coming up next in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Noticed the signs posted at pharmacies and grocery stores telling you that you could get the flu shot now. But should you? Let's verify. Is there a time that's best to get the flu vaccine? Our sources are family medicine doctor Latasha Perkins, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Immunization Action Coalition, or IAC, which is an educational nonprofit that works with the CDC. Our experts say that you should get the flu shot as soon as it's available, and certainly before the end of October, because that's when the flu season starts to pick up.
October is going to be the optimal month to get it.
We compared that with the CDC Online 2019 to 2020 flu season charts that tracked when flu cases peaked for different age ranges. You could see that cases spiked towards the first weeks in February and declined at the end of March in each age group. The CDC warns that the peak varies year to year, but according to these guidelines that were just updated, the agency says everyone should be vaccinated by the end of October. The CDC says that it takes about 2 weeks after you get vaccinated for your body to develop antibodies against the flu. And the IAC says that for most, immunity lasts at least 6 months. So while our experts say that October is ideal, it's never too late, even if you've already had the flu.
The flu doesn't travel alone. There are multiple flu viruses during the season.
So we can verify that yes, there is a recommended time to get the flu shot to offer the best protection, and that's during the month of October. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
DBL, that's Donny Osmond strutting his stuff in the video for his new song, Who, off his new album, Start Again. We spoke to Donny about his music and starting over in Vegas, this time, though, without his famous sister. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Donny, welcome to DBL.
How are you guys?
We're doing well. How are you?
You have to mention that that song is from the new album, but it's the 65th album.
Dang.
So
that's
a lot of music.
Insane. Wow.
It is insane. Yeah, wow. It's hard for me to believe because that's an album for more than every year that I've been alive. So
wow.
Speaking of your album being called Start Again, I don't know if our viewers, I mean, of course your fans know this, but I think it is very admirable just knowing your story that you recently had a bit of a health scare. You had to relearn how to walk again.
Wow.
So you had to start over. Yeah. How are you doing now? I know your wife had a lot to do with your recovery.
I mentioned that in an interview the other day, and I thought, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. And it's kind of gone viral. But it is an amazing story because the last show that I did with Marie at the Flamingo, just before COVID hit, I couldn't feel my arms and I couldn't feel my legs.
Whoa.
So I had back surgery and neck surgery at the same time. Wow. The problem, I mean, the surgeries were successful. I had secondary infection, and that could kill you. Yeah. So literally a year and a half ago, I was on a walker.
Wow.
But, you know, the pain getting back to this point, I had some of the best people working with me, and I'm stronger than I was prior to the operation. So everything's working. And so Start Again is appropriate in that respect. But I also named the album that because we all are starting again with this pandemic. Everybody's finding different ways of doing things. And it's all about picking yourself up and starting again, no matter what your challenges may be.
I live for a good comeback, Donny, so we're so happy to see you start over. And you mentioned you're back in Vegas with your first ever solo show.
Yeah.
We have to ask, do you miss your sister?
You know, I absolutely do, but it's a completely different show. The Donny and Marie show was one thing. You know, the Donny and Marie brand was, you know, the silly slapstick and all that stuff. We had so much fun performing together. It was originally supposed to be a 6-week engagement, turned into 11 years.
Wow.
But this show is more all-inclusive of everything I've done in 6 decades.
I want to ask you about your start.
Yeah.
You got your start on the Andy Williams show with your brothers just when you were 5 years old. How instrumental was that show in shaping your career?
Well, it was everything. You know, everyone in show business needs a break.
Oh, look
That
at
was our
There
break.
he is.
And that's when I began. I was 5 years old. And Andy gave us our initial start, our national exposure. In fact, I do a tribute to Andy, where I was able to go back and get the masters of his show.
Wow.
And I sing a duet with him. I sing Moon River with him. And last night, it was pretty amazing. It got a standing ovation that wouldn't stop because it's so emotional and it connects so well between the two of us because Andy was my mentor. He gave me the break, and here I am paying homage to him, and we're singing together. It's a moment. It really is a moment for me as well as for the audience.
Donnie, you are the epitome of show business. And speaking of duets, on your new album, Start Again, you wrote a song in response to Justin Bieber's Lonely song. So would you be open to a collaboration with the Biebs?
Well, absolutely, because I think it would be an interesting collaboration, but the song's got to be right. It's got to fit him. It's got to fit me. And so it's not just, okay, let's have these two people come together, be kind of interesting. No, it's got to be more than that. So if the Biebs can come up with the right idea, if I can come up with the right idea, if the collaboration feels right between the two of us, I think that would be the most amazing collaboration because we both had the same kind of childhood.
Yes.
I went through that tunnel. I got through the hurdle of that teeny bopper career to a respected adult entertainer. Justin went through the same tunnel, and he's made some decisions in his life. He's found love. He's got through the end of it. And I wrote a song called Life After Loneliness, because in it I say, did you want a star? I mean, he's a star, and his light will never dim. That's the lyric. Because Justin's going to be with us for a long time. Smart guy.
I'm buying the first
Smart,
ticket
very talented.
to the Donnie and Biebs show.
I'm going to. I better get to go backstage.
Amazing, Donnie, amazing.
Donnie, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, catch Donnie in his new solo show, Donnie at Harrah's in Vegas, and his new album, Start Again, is available right now. Find all the details at Donnie.com. Thank you so much, Donnie.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks, you guys. Good to talk to you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Election Day to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom. Gubernatorial candidate Larry Elder, the leading candidate if the recall was successful, added a link to his website for voters to sign a petition demanding an investigation into the election results. The petition makes several claims of fraud. So let's verify. Is there evidence of widespread voter fraud during the California recall election? Our sources are the California Secretary of State and the San Diego County Registrar of Voters. Many of the claims on Elder's website are similar to those made by former President Donald Trump during the 2020 presidential election, including one that registrars aren't removing people from the voter rolls who are ineligible to vote.
We do follow elections code and federal law as it relates to purging or canceling voters from our records.
The petition also alleges an analysis detected fraudulent voting patterns, something the Secretary of State's office calls a baseless claim, telling Verify, quote, "Our office and county election officials work day in and day out to provide accessible, accurate information to the public to protect voters from misinformation and unsubstantiated allegations of fraud that might lead them to believe their vote doesn't matter when it does," unquote. Neither the petition organizers nor Elder's campaign substantiated their claims. During his concession speech, Elder accepted the results and removed the link to the petition from his website. So, it's false that there's evidence of widespread voter fraud during the California recall election. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Just want to congratulate all of you at DBL. A great 5 years. Your show is fun. It's entertaining. I can't wait to see what the next 5 years hold. So again, congratulations, and I hope to see you soon.
Jerry, that's awesome. Thank you, Jerry Springer. Welcome back to DBL. Did you know having too much free time may not be good for your health? We're chatting about it on DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. So according to an American Time Use survey, free time can lead to better health, but it levels off at about 2 hours. And get this, your well-being begins to decline after 5 hours. So if you are retired or have recently left a job and you've found some newfound time on your hands, experts are saying get a hobby, try something new, try exercising, but just keep moving. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy, regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-782-2351 or visit QB.com to learn more.
I saw Erica nodding her head.
Yeah.
It's so true. I mean, especially during the pandemic, a lot of our schedules became less like be here, be there. But yesterday I had like the longest day ever, and I had the most energy at the end of the day, like more than I've had in probably a year and a half.
Good for you.
So I'm like, I need to stack my schedule again.
Yeah, you do. You don't want too much free time. We do want to say people are saying that they'll use Who, the Donny Osmond song, is their ringtone. Who?
Are they on a landline phone?
Yeah, landline.
Should have been a cord
and also, I think
coming
I'll
off of
show
that.
you just how much I look like Donny. You ready? Let's take it out.
Lord.
Here we go.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my Lanta. Oh, my Lanta.
Get it, Tori.
This is happening.
You got it.
Is this really
Okay, all right, I'm leaving.